So start the meeting at 7:01 ESC meeting on April 8th. I think we'll just wait for a couple of people. Oh, there's all sorts of people chiming in. So hi everyone. Call to order the meeting. Is there any public participation? We're just waiting for a few more committee members to join, but I can start with public participation if there's anybody has anything they'd like to say.
Hey Rob, it's Cheyenne. I'm just going to listen in. It's been a while.
Hi Cheyenne.
This is Carol Zubek from 294 Main Street, and from the Grassroots Sustainable Wakefield. And just thought I'd quick report that the creation cares that the Episcopal Church has been doing seems to be going along well. There seems to be well attended.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Creation cares, the cleanup of the lake.
Oh, okay, great. So they've already been out a couple of times, or?
Yeah, I think this weekend will be the 4th weekend, and they're trying to get groups to kind of take sections. And I took a section with about 5 people. That's near the sailing center, the public area near the sailing center.
Awesome.
Hi, my name.
They were doing it on Wednesdays, on Thursdays too for some time. I joined one of them and it was really great.
Oh, good. Okay. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble. There's so many people on the page today, which is unusual, but it's great. Is it public participation? Can you put your hand up if you'd like to talk? Or
I thought Daniela wanted to say something and then I cut her off. So
yes, I was just saying that my name is Daniela Nedbalik. I'm from 240 Lowell Street, recent new homeowner and joining Wakefield Town. And I'm really, really passionate about sustainability. I am on a zero waste lifestyle journey currently. So this is just something I'm really passionate about. And when I found out there was a committee, I was like, wait, what? That is amazing. And I actually spoke up at the last town meeting on both of your actions that you wanted to pass there. So great to hear like the story, the community behind that. And so that's why I wanted to join today and hopefully future sessions.
Oh, great. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Daniel. Thank you.
We are also, just so you know, expanding our membership, and the town is collecting resumes if you would like to apply for one of the newly open seats.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. When they had posted the new or previously the open positions, I was sad to not see it there. That's actually how I found out that it existed. So that's really good news that more seats approved.
Yeah, we have 3 open seats right now as approved. So yeah, feel free to submit your application. That'd be good.
Is it out yet? Daniela, we reached out to me after I posted some pictures for our Earth Day photos, and so she and I were talking back and forth a little bit, and I had thought maybe it wasn't quite out yet. So I apologize, Daniela, if I gave you wrong information.
I think it was out on last Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, it is out now.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that in this meeting. We changed a few things, so yeah, I can let you know more shortly. Is there anybody else who would like to participate in public participation? How do I see hands? Okay. All right. I don't see any hands. I don't see anybody waving, so I'll move on to the next. Sorry, my computer's missing. We didn't manage to send out any minutes for March, right, Robin?
No, I sent out minutes Monday night.
Oh, That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot to forward them to the students. Did everybody have an opportunity to read the minutes? And,
So Rob, I actually looked at the website. It's not posted. It hasn't, none of the minutes have popped up since
Cheyenne.
December.
Okay. Hang on, Cheyenne. So
Minutes are posted after they're approved.
Yeah.
So there's they're a meeting or two behind.
So Cheyenne, we have to approve the minutes now. Public participation has ended, but we do try and get them up as quick as we can once they've been approved. So as of the website right now, the ones through February 11th are on there. We just have to approve the next couple. We haven't approved those yet. If that answers your question.
So I have an edit, Robin, real on the March 11th ones. Under my update, the last paragraph around the solar rebates. So just want to add that continues to provide solar rebates and strike the word not. They are 100% funded by the utility since there is no longer state funding at the moment.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, I got the non in the state versus local, huh?
Yep, no worries. Yeah, and just wanted to clarify that it's the solar, we were talking about the solar rebates.
Oh yeah, yep, okay. Do you want to make a motion to approve the minutes with your amendment?
Is there any other,
Is it any
does
other?
anyone else have any other edits before we do that?
Right. I don't see anyone.
All right. Do we want to approve both sets, March 11th and 25th together?
Yep, please. Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept the March 11th minutes as amended during this meeting and the March 25th minutes as published.
Second.
Any discussion? See no discussion. All in favor? Hang on. Tom?
Aye.
Me? Aye. Robin?
Hi.
Wow. Susie?
Yes.
Hi. Myra?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes.
And Julie.
I joined from. Yes.
Oh, sorry, Julie.
That's okay. I just joined. I heard the discussion, so yes.
Hi. Hi, Julie.
Sorry.
Sorry. I have to keep going, but yeah, great. Thank you. All right, approved. Okay.
Who was the second? I only heard the noise. I didn't see the light up. Who said it?
I said it.
Thank you, Susie.
It's Susie.
Susie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Still don't know who it is.
So Rob, it might help us if the public could turn off the cameras, then Zoom tends to filter only those that have cameras on. It might help us see people talking.
Oh,
Love the participation though.
Actually, Rob, since we do have so many public folks on, do we want to just talk about how these meetings run and the fact that the public can only speak during the public comment and they can't really ask questions and they can't really engage in conversation? It's just kind of the way that these meetings run, which I know when I first went to one of these meetings, I went to a school committee meeting and thought that I could just kind of chime in and found out that you really can't. It's just not how these meetings run, which is unfortunate, but it is kind of how we have to operate. So that's why Rob was kind of making sure that anybody who is here from the public who wanted to speak at the very front end of the meeting, like that is the time. And so that's just kind of how it works. I'm super sensitive to that, having been one of those people who was like, why can't I just raise my hand and ask a question? Because it's just not the way that these meetings run. So.
Yeah, thank you for that, Susie. Yeah.
Given that, can we reopen the field to public questions with that context, or can we not do that?
Well, I guess I could choose to just go back round and make sure there's any other people in public participation who would like to say something. I see some other new faces and names that I don't know. but I don't see anybody
I'm
hands
sorry, I
up.
have a
or-
question.
Who-
I'm sorry,
Hang on, Susie.
Cheyenne.
State
It's
your
Cheyenne
name
here.
and street
Sorry,
address.
Cheyenne, you have to state your name and your
Okay,
address.
sorry, this is Cheyenne here. I'm at Two Vale Wakefield. Just
Hi,
question, I didn't know if I misheard you. Did you say that those are public participation? We should turn off our camera?
I was just suggesting if you turned it off while we have our meeting, it helps us see the members, that's all.
All right.
But it's not required, is it? I don't
think it's required.
we have not, we're not usually this popular, Cheyenne.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit, we're all lovely people and we're so excited to see have public participation, but it's new to us. So we're trying to figure out how to make it happen.
Normally there's only the committee here, so, but you're welcome
But it's
to
great.
leave.
We love having everybody here.
Yeah, we absolutely appreciate you coming
great.
and staying on. So, and anything you want to follow up with, feel free to email me after if you want to touch.
That's
Circle
why don't
back.
you give our email address in the chat too? And we have a committee email address, so anything we can address as well in future meetings.
Julie, we don't have the chat anymore. It's been.
Oh, that's right. There's no chat. Well, it's what is it? ESC@wakefield.
MA.US.
MA.US.
But it's also on the website.
Yeah, you can find it on the town website under the ESC committee. Everything's there. So, yeah, thank you guys. All right, moving on. Item 4 on the agenda. I have trash, plastic reduction, and increased composting update still on there. So we had some update from Anne. Joe's here. I don't know if you had any more update you would like to give us on that, Joe.
Yeah, sure. So sorry I missed everybody last time. I was double booked with the finance committee, but Anne got to share the conversation that I was kind of given little leads to for the past couple of meetings. So just a quick note on the Black Earth piece. Connor has told us today, so we have 206 active accounts in town, and we've already had 30 people sign up in the short time that's been available. So the total right now for the kickoff in May is 246, and there's another 80 that are pre-registered. And then, should they sign up in full and pay, we're well on our way to the first threshold of 300. So it's pretty exciting that, a little bit of advertisement has gone into it, but it seems like it's starting to pick up steam. So it looks like things are going to go how we hope they would. So
that's great.
That's about all I got for you.
No, that's great. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Joe, have you gotten any negative feedback from I know that there was an article in the item, and I know there were some announcements on the town. Has there been any sort of controversy around it?
No, nothing that's gone to me. I don't think there really, I think it's, it's a win-win. You get a situation where you're only gonna see good things and you have the potential to get even better. From my standpoint or my group's standpoint, the reduction at the curb is obviously going to pass savings onto the town, right? And then, who knows what the future may hold. If this is something where, it's a complete home run and it turns out to be super successful, maybe the town models, something like this and we start thinking about this in the future. It's a great way to dip our toe in the water and see what's happening. So I've heard nothing but good things to this point.
Oh, that's great. Good.
And can I ask one other question? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
For those of us who have been Black Earth groupies for some time, is the idea that once we get to the 300 threshold, the price drops for everybody, or do those people, I know the advertised price, I think, was $89 a month. And I think if we had just signed up before this program, it was $99. And so was that part of the negotiation to get everybody in at that lower rate?
Yes, I believe so. I wasn't on the last conversation that Connor from Black Earth had with Ann and Jen. So I believe we're trying to figure out the logistics of that to pass that on as fast as we can. I know worst case scenario, it would be discounted to you, at the next subscription renewal.
Great.
But certainly it's something I want to see happen ASAP. So how the logistics of that function, we're still kind of working out, but we have our kits ordered that we're going to sponsor through our grant. So those will show up and we'll be rolling.
Awesome.
How are we communicating it? Through what?
So right now it's gone on through the town website. There's some press up there about it. It's also going to appear in the newsletter that Public Works sends out in our springtime water bills.
Oh, great.
And then from there,
well.
most of it will probably be through Jen McDonald. She released a press release. I know that was in the item. So
Yep.
there's 3 hits there. We haven't put anything together for WCAT, but I don't think that that's something out of the realm of possibility. We just haven't got to that point yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Myra, on your question, Black Earth sent out a FAQ email. And basically when we hit 300 participants, anyone that has signed up in the town and is under any sort of subscription, their next renewal will be at the, that $300 or $300 participant rate threshold.
Unless
I just didn't know whether, because there was already, if we get to 300,
Yep.
it was already like 69, and then I don't know if there's a
correct.
discount beyond that from the town, because I know that there's they're parking trucks at the lot and doing other, there's other advantages to the company for loving Wakefield as much as we do.
I think some of it is just we're going to get a quicker reduction because we're participating with the town.
Great.
So we'll get to that
So
number.
instead of 99, it's going to drop quicker.
Great.
That one will, and I believe, I don't have it in front of me, I apologize. I believe by allowing them to park the vehicles there, if we were to get to 400, that threshold is actually going to be reduced as well.
Great.
So it's all good.
Well, I'm very excited if you can't tell.
Yeah.
We are too.
So, Julie, I think we've talked about this, but you're going to keep track of weight and all of that, just so we have some metrics to look at, after 6 months or a year.
It's a mandatory part of their agreement with us.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh,
So we'll have a login as the town, and we'll be able to see kind of holistically what any subscriber in here. That way, just like simple recycling and things like that, we want to know, what are we actually diverting?
Great job, Joe.
Thank you. And Mary, I did get your email and I have some information for you that I'm going to be sending to you shortly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
great. That's Julie. We had plastic reduction on there as well. We've got as part of the trash.
Yeah, so this is the implementation of the bylaw that was passed at the last town meeting, and Melissa's on as well and may have something to add. We have been meeting with the Chamber of Commerce and with the town, and the Chamber has brought in some restaurant owners who have been super helpful in thinking this through. We're doing a training on April 22nd as part of kind of the town's Earth Day programming with the restaurants and the other impacted retailers. So we're in the process of putting together the materials for that. There's a meeting tomorrow with an update. So I don't have a whole lot more. Melissa, you might want to chime in.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot more. I do actually, I was going to add that Jen McDonald put together a really great fact sheet for the businesses to help them shift away from styrofoam containers. So kind of the do's and don'ts of that styrofoam bylaw. So hopefully that will help them in this work.
Along those lines, is there an opportunity for maybe not Black Earth, but a Black Earth to come and sort of share their perspective around composting and or I don't know how, I know there's sort of the government versus the private, but.
No, I mean, what we're trying to work through is a recognition program. I mean, obviously this is the bylaw and this is a mandatory thing, but we're also trying to integrate in a recognition of restaurants or businesses doing other green things. Yeah. And so this would be something that they could definitely look at. And we're really leaving it up to each business what they want to. Can't remember what we ended up the number being, or it may still be under discussion, but if a business can kind of show they're doing 5 or 6 things in addition to the mandatory things, or, you know, yeah, I mean, things on top of the mandatory things, then they kind of get this green business recognition, and we're going to really try to help promote them. And so composting would certainly be one of those things.
That's great. Yeah, I remember talking with, I'm going to forget the name of it, but right there on the main street, one of the restaurant who has the sustainable, they use the sustainable.
Oh, ginger leaf.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But could not think of it. And they said they actually do not compost because the cost of it is really prohibitive. So they actually end up throwing away all of these items, and it's kind of a shame. So it just dawned on me that there might be a need there for potentially the business of the businesses to get together or something and create some economy. So just a thought.
Yeah, I think once we get through this training on the 22nd about the bylaw, then the hope is that we'll keep these dialogues going and be able to do some programming with businesses, you know, the things they can do on a voluntary basis.
Yeah, and that programming sounds great. I didn't mean to detract from it.
No, it's a great idea.
Just wanted to add
on. Thanks for that. Sorry, is it increasing? Oh yeah, okay. Was there any other discussion on the trash or anything? I don't think that was it. Green communities, green community action update. Julie, I don't know.
I don't really have anything other than if anybody we should all come out to vote for the stretch code at town meeting and try to get our friends, and we'll be doing some education around it as well, publicizing the PowerPoint and the discussion that we had at town council. But that's the next big lift. The other lift, and Tom may have an update, is the baseline energy that I know WML, the light department's been working really hard on, because once we get the baseline, then we have to show how we're going to come up with the reductions. And so that's kind of the fundamental of the whole green community. So Tom, if you have an update, please chime in.
Yeah, the only update is they're working on it, you know, feeding it into the system, and getting that. Okay. Obviously, from, you know, an electric and gas delivery standpoint, you know, they can go into the billing system and get that. And then I know the DPW is working on the buildings that are, you know, consume oil.
Julie, at town meeting, who's doing the presentation on the warrant article?
That's a very good question. I know that the building inspector will be there to answer questions and hopefully co-present it. Anybody here want to present it? Robin? No.
Present the whole article?
Yes, present the article. I mean, we're certainly going to have to do some of the background. We have the slides ready.
Right.
So let's talk. That's a really good point, Robin. Let's talk about who can do that. If anybody's interested in doing it, certainly. I know that we could have the representative from Green Communities come back potentially and do it for the whole town.
At least have why I am totally blanking on his name.
Neil.
At least be present or present. You know, just because he is the subject matter expert on that.
Okay.
I think that definitely would be beneficial if he's not presenting, to be present to answer any questions or counter any rebuttals that's may not be accurate.
Yeah.
I'll take it as an action item to invite him.
So I spoke to Jen today. She's put it on our website as a link. We have stretch code on our website right now. As soon as the town council approves all of the town warrants, the whole article, that they're going to start putting out more information, so we can add the link and do more stuff.
We should be doing that on Monday night.
Is that okay? Yeah. So even though they approved the stretch code section, the whole article isn't. So the town isn't actually advertising the whole thing yet. So, but we're already ready. We have the link on there. they've put the section on the YouTube on the YouTube video of the presentation for the stretch code and Julie's slides. So that's already on there, so people can look at that.
Julie, when it was presented to town council, one of the town councilors asked a question that was kind of awkward in the sense that it was asking, what are people's problem against it or something? It was kind of a negative. And then Neil's response was, well, I don't know, you have to ask them what they found as a negative. So while I don't love answering questions in that way, I think we need to be prepared to have an answer because it has been presented publicly.
And just so this group knows, this is also the stretch. There's a lot of misinformation on the stretch code if you do a simple Google search. And so because they've changed a lot, it's easy to find ones from previous iterations. And so that's why having somebody like Neil there who can really clarify which ones we're talking about are important. But just so people know that it's a lot of times when there is opposition, it's because people are looking at different codes than what we're dealing with right now. I mean, I think as Robin knows, and it was said, is the stretch code is not all that stretchy right now. It's not a huge difference from the standard, but there is a difference and we need to explain what those are.
And to, at least in my mind, to answer the negative, I would say right now is the fact that we as a town are losing out on grant dollars. It's significant year over year, every year that we're not a green community, and we're definitely in the minority on that. We're losing those grant dollars.
So, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about the optics of having two people who don't live in town present it. So, you know, I think Neil is great. And I think our building inspector is also fantastic, clearly knows a lot about it. But I'm just wondering, can we find, I mean, you know, I have so little understanding of what the stretch code is. You know, although I see it as really as an opportunity for green communities, but is there anybody in town that understands it, who lives here, that supports it? Because I feel like we do need to have somebody local, ideally.
Rob, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. Well, let's take
like
that offline.
An architect or a contractor.
Or a contractor, maybe. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, even to introduce it, I just feel like we need somebody to show somebody invested in.
Myra, I had the same thought that we need approval for the two of them to talk, and that instantly has a bad optic that we aren't prepared to speak to it on our own advocates. So,
okay,
we'll talk out separately.
Yeah, let's talk at let's figure out maybe. Yeah, okay. Land protection is the next on the agenda for an update. Mary, I'm not sure we have one right now. Have we?
Yeah, you know, we have been sort of behind the scenes. Myra and I actually were inquiring with, you know, how this fits into maybe envision Wakefield. So we had a conversation with Jonathan Shine, since he's leading that. You know, there's a couple follow-ups. So I think there's some due diligence to do, but there's really nothing to sort of report out on at this point.
Okay.
Other than that, I think it should remain on our radar, and that maybe once we get through this town meeting, we can kind of reprioritize our focus.
Sounds good. Yeah, great. Thank you. And Safe Streets group, did they meet, Julie? I'm not sure.
We meet the third Thursday. There's not a lot to report. We've been doing lots of work with the Safe Routes to School program in the schools. That's been really a great collaboration. We're on our agenda for this coming month, so it's the 27th is the next meeting. We are hoping to have an update on someone come and give an update on the rail to trail progress.
Oh, nice.
And Julie, I missed the last meeting, but I think on the agenda was to talk about Earth Day. And so is that moving forward?
So the decision was made, since we are still certainly in COVID. We spoke with the health department and it was determined that we should not be doing any in-person events. And so we're going to come up with, we'll be launching social media, much like this group. And we're going to just put some content on social media. That's the best we can do right now. And we're going to, you know how people do July, Christmas in July, we're probably going to do Earth Day in August. And try to do our event then.
Great.
That's great. Committee collaboration. I don't know if we've had a chance to. Robin, have you been in planning board meetings or?
No, I haven't done anything since our last meeting, other than I did sit in on the recent permanent building committee interviews for an OPM, an owner's project manager for the high school. So I'm kind of staying on top of what they're doing. If folks haven't heard, they voted to pursue contract negotiations with left fields.
And what's your feeling on that, Robin?
I am familiar with, I think, all of the folks they interviewed, and they're all qualified.
That wasn't super convincing.
I
think you have a different opinion about it that you're not going to state publicly, which is okay.
I think it's my most appropriate answer on a video public.
There we go. Okay. I am really interested in hearing kind of more about how people feel about that. Bob Shiroli was also reluctant to share kind of how he felt about it leading up to the meeting. He did feel like everybody was pretty qualified.
Massachusetts and the MSBA programs do have, there are a lot of great firms out there. And so they, you're choosing between a lot of good ones. So it's not, I can't say we couldn't have done wrong, because I didn't see the applications of that weren't interviewed, but I find it hard to imagine that they couldn't have had any bad choices. So
do you feel like that firm has good experience with building green schools?
Well, so you got to remember, they don't build green schools.
That's right. It's the OPM. Right. My bad. Yep.
So they all have experience with it, with varying degrees. But it really is about the public pushing agenda. And that's what the OPM will respond to. They aren't coming with any of their own agenda. They shouldn't be, and I don't think they are, coming with any criteria for which the school should have. We need to tell them. That's the responsibility of us to say, this is our priority, this is what we want, and then their responsible is to ensure that architect and the design team listen to that and incorporate it when it's balanced with cost, budget, and other considerations.
Got it. Oh, that's helpful. Thank you.
So advocate for it if you want it in all public meetings. So.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just trying to share my screen, but it's not working quite right.
No, it's working.
It's there.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Hang on.
We can see it.
Well, it was. Now it just went away.
Did it? Oh.
Now we see building forward with confidence.
Yeah.
Can you see that now or not?
We're on the Facebook page.
Yep.
Okay. So next on the agenda, social media. So we were supposed to be setting up some meetings, and everybody was, some of the students were interested, and I was interested, Julie was interested. There was a lot of issues that needed to be sorted out before we could actually do anything. Jen's been working hard behind the scenes. Apparently we have to archive all the comments, and so now she has a company that's archiving all the comments. So legally now we can have a website, and we have a website as of 3 hours ago. So we have the Facebook one. There's other stuff that's going to be coming along, but this is all we could cope with right this minute. So Julie, chime in at any point, but so we can have a website. Jen McDonald is the communications. She's in charge. She's the overall, but she's not in charge of our website. We have to be in charge of our own
Facebook
website.
page, not website, right?
Sorry, Facebook page. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we have to manage it, but she has overall. So if I suddenly lose control and put something crazy on there, she can shut it down. Apart from that, we're going to be in charge of it. So at the moment, it's just me. There's going to be some proper training, and the student liaisons, anybody who would like to be on it from the committee can be. But for right this minute, we're not quite there. There's also open meeting laws. If I post something on there saying, let's clean up at the lake, and Robin and Myra and Julie say, oh yeah, that's a great idea, let's do that. That is actually almost classed as open meeting. So we have to be a little bit careful if we all comment on the same post. So that's part of the training. So right now we have a page. I can, and Jen nicely put some of her old pictures up there.
I can't find it. Facebook, is it public or not?
It's facebook.com/Wakefield ESC.
Yeah, it didn't come up in the search. If you go directly to it, it's coming up. But I'm thinking if they just publish it,
It's probably not search engine optimized. It's probably not optimized yet.
Yeah, she did it. Yeah, like 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. Yeah.
I will say that one thing that's taken some time, and it's not just our committee, but I sat in on all the meetings, is when you look at the about section, there's a lot of ground rules that have gone into that about what kind of conduct is acceptable and what's not. If you go under see more, I think under about and the second I.
The second I, about,
yeah, right there. I think that's where it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. So there's very few open meeting and amendment rules, unless they're swearing or directly they're allowed to comment. So comments have to be allowed. Comments have to be recorded. And if somebody asks for comments 2 years in the future, that they have to be able to pull them back. So that's why Jen.
Right. This is treated as an open document, basically.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll all get the training, and it'll be a great tool, I think.
Yeah. So we can. So if it's that new and you can't find it yet, I'll send it out, and then we can start sharing it. And
no, I got it.
Oh, you got it.
You got a few likes just in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, there you go. And we were talking about it. So like the DPWs, when Joe's doing his rain barrels or the composting, we can put that straight on ours as well and share it out. And all the events we're doing and the food recovery and the pumpkins and Jen's going to have a few suggestions. She would like a post every week or something like that. There's a whole load of suggestions that she has, but she's working on that for us right now. So, but for now we have a page. We can put on the fact that we're advertising for 3 new positions, and we can put our Earth Day information on there for now. So if you have anything, you can send it to me. Until we get it finalized with the training, it's just going to go through me right now. But we have a page. And then in the future, the students, we are going to have a meeting and figure out some of these other social medias that you would suggest that we could use. But for now, this is as far as we got.
Great job. Looks good.
Yeah, thanks for keeping the pressure on this. It's great.
Yeah, and Jen appreciated the fact we asked her first before setting one up, because there is definitely some laws around this, so we did it the right way. I know it took us a while to do it, but apparently we did it the right way, so it was good. Next on the agenda, Earth Day events. Myra.
Yeah, so I've started, I'm a little late, so I apologize to you all. I haven't done the articles yet. I think I reached out to Jen and she had a really good, I think, suggestion about how do we think about tying the Earth Day sort of celebration of what we have in place with the Envision Wakefield framework. And so not wanting that, I think where she was coming from was sort of not wanting Envision Wakefield to get lost and really sort of to use that as an organizing framework, which I think is a good idea, but it was just enough to like frazzle my mind, and then I got distracted. So that's why I'm late. But I feel like I have some time tomorrow, and I feel like I can pull together sort of first the sort of introduction of why we're thinking about this, and then I think we should do a little short blurb on the composting, and I'm thinking something like 100 words or 150 word, really sort of short celebration of the different accomplishments. And Tom gave me some data, so I just need some time to pull them together. I think it'd be great if we could put them on the Facebook page. I talked to the Patch about publishing them there, and I was going to send them to the item and maybe then to Jen. So I think we have, I think we can still do time for 8 or something, and I think we have about that many really cool things to celebrate. And then on the social media, I've just started posting sort of this hashtag of Wakefield outside, and I would love it if anybody else had things to contribute, but I feel like that was the other thing that we talked about, is just trying to sort of get, raise some awareness of the incredible places to be outside. And it's been a great kind of reminder for me. I've been exploring new parts of Wakefield that I hadn't actually been in a while, so it's been fun to collect some pictures and put them out there. But if anybody else wants to chime in, I know Robin will not be posting snakes, and I have learned that flowers are more popular than snakes, but generally I think we're going for the diversity of it.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees on Saturday, so
I know.
Get out and about.
So I don't know if people have other ideas about, how we could do it more, just, especially since there won't be any in-person events. I feel like we want to just sort of be out there a little bit this month.
And Jen had mentioned that to me as well about the, they have that whole resiliency dashboard made up that was part of an MVP grant through KLM.
KLM.
And the resiliency, and I think Joe, that was part of the grant that we were trying to get, and I assume we would be trying to go back for the MVP grants. So trying to keep that dashboard alive and populating it with other stuff. I don't know. Is that? I'm not quite. She sent me the link, and it never actually went fully live. So I was saying we could put the resiliency on ours and see how we could combine it. I just didn't have a chance to send it out to all of you guys yet. It had stuff like the farmers market, what the recycling had been, the rain barrel. It was a whole dashboard of all sorts of. It was interesting stuff.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And
yeah, what I was thinking was the sort of the theme that we were highlighting was sort of a lot of small steps adding up to sort of a sort of umbrella of increased resilience and increased environmentalism. And so that's what I sort of where I see the alignment, is that I think that framework really talks about sort of each decision should have an environmental lens to it, and that we have a lot in place and we're doing some more to just decrease the footprint of our community and increase the livability of our community in the long term. So that's what I was thinking. I don't know if others agree with that lens.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Tactical things, small things that people can do to impact in a positive way the environment. I agree. I think the dashboard, maybe we can put that on our website at some point, or each week maybe adds a key stat from the dashboard, sort of a spotlight on, I don't know what one of the items was, but a spotlight on each of the metrics.
I'll reset. Yeah, I'll send it out. I just spoke to Jenny yesterday about it. She was trying to figure out how it could fit in, because it's
right.
Yeah, it's definitely environmental, but it's also like cooling rooms when it's 110 degrees out for people to come and sit in an air conditioned room. There's a whole just resiliency in town, food, climate. There was a lot of different sections with it. So there was a lot of work done. So it seems, and Joe, that was part of the that section of the lake that was part of the MVP grant, wasn't it? To do some of that communication.
Yep. That'll continue to be a focus as it moves on too.
I know it's tough right now. I know there was communication, and they did the festival by the lake, and they did a few outreaches, and they did some meetings at. But obviously that's tough right now. But okay, so I'll send that out, and then we could try and figure out how to incorporate that into us, I guess, and keep it moving forward so it doesn't get just get lost. There was a lot of good work put into it. So.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Because I've been a little disconnected from things going on because of all the school committee stuff happening. I have just a couple of questions. And it's kind of related to the last topic around social media. So is there now kind of a smaller working group that's focused on social media, or is that going to be the job of the entire committee?
That's just going to be a small group.
Okay.
I know Nick and I think Sophie, and me and Myra, we were just going to have a small subcommittee because we decided to do Facebook and social media in general. But then it became such a legal thing. We've just been waiting to hear. So we're just going to start with Facebook right now. And
right. Okay. Because
it's just a subcommittee, and like Joe and can use it for the DPW, for any environmental stuff that they want to put out as well, or the town, anyone. So.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason I ask is, as you guys were talking about some of these ideas of whether it be, sharing the pictures of being outdoors or highlighting the things on the dashboard, it made me think of some of like the Black Earth option, the rain barrels. Like there is so much going on in town that we could highlight on this page, and coming from a marketing background and kind of working for a company for a long time that did kind of small business marketing, one of the big things that we talked about with small business owners was, and nonprofits, was creating a content calendar, right? And so this idea of kind of having a calendar that says, we're going to talk about this on this day and this on this day, and to list out like, what are all the things that we could do, right? Oh. Because we were just coming up with a pretty long list of the different things we could highlight. And so I don't know the best way to go about kind of documenting kind of those brainstorming ideas, and then starting to think about, okay, so in April, it probably makes sense to do some focus on Earth Day like topics. So I would encourage, and I'm certainly as much as I can, would love to help in the kind of the organization of that, because I think if you can have a plan, it comes across kind of much better. And if you're saying like, we're going to do something Monday and Wednesday and Friday, and then you can kind of schedule it. So I just think we have a lot to say, right? There's a lot going on in town, and there's a lot to say. And the more that we can get a plan together, the better off that's going to work. And whether it be having the high school kids take, the students take a first stab at that, and they be responsible for kind of posting things once we just, we all agree on what the calendar looks like. But I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And I'd like to help if I can find the time.
Well, that'd be great. So you're suggesting a content calendar?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you could start with just a brainstormed list, right? Like even if we had a list that we were all putting ideas into, and then it's really about taking that list and thinking about what's the best timing when you're thinking about seasons or holidays or just things going on in town, right?
Oh, okay.
But when you think about your calendar, you often want to think about, we would want to do something leading into town meeting about the stretch code and information about that, right? It's just, we want to be thoughtful and think about it with a plan in place, thinking about what is the right time to talk about things versus just being like, oh, we should get something on there this week because we haven't said anything recently.
Great. So you can all send me, directly only to me, any suggestions for content for a calendar, right? And then I can put it together and we could discuss it next meeting.
Yep.
right? So anybody has any suggestions of things for a content calendar for the Facebook page for the year, and just send it to me. Just through open meeting, we can't discuss it, and I could put it together and we could discuss it next meeting. Does that make sense?
It does. My only concern is that in the short term, what you guys thinking about what's your plan from now until the next meeting, right? Because there's Earth Day and there's town meeting that you're going to want to be thoughtful about. What are you doing during those times? But you guys should do that as part of the smaller group that's working on that.
So we could do that as a subgroup anyway.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so
if we have a meeting, if we're getting together anyway for social media training, maybe we tack on to that and we just post it and do it all together.
Okay, and then moving forward,
Yep. And then moving forward, I think we get the input of this group, and then the subgroup can really think through the details.
Okay.
And if there are any other like I think about like the week of Thanksgiving, as it would be a great time to talk about composting, right? Because that's like the mother load of composting is Thanksgiving week. But it's not something that you would necessarily think about unless you're a composter and you realize you can dump that entire turkey carcass right in your compost bin.
And the pumpkins, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, really, I just think it's worth like, to your point, Susie, even like mapping out the whole year and saying like, where are the things, like, I don't know when the benches are going to arrive from the plastic recycling, but like if we knew that, we could plan, you could put it on the calendar and sort of plan around that. So if we even map out, like even for the rest of the calendar year about where some things could be, and then we can fill in the rest.
But yeah, you're right. We know some certain events, definitely the pumpkins and the turkey carcasses. I think Joe probably, through the RFP and moving forward, is there advertising in there that they will do as well, or would it just be through us guys? And
would Black Earth be responsible for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the dirt business, right? And they want as much nutrient-rich product as they can get. So I'm sure. I don't know if there isn't. I don't believe there's a specific requirement for them to advertise.
No.
There are other things like they participate in certain like civic functions with us, but as a reduction standpoint, I wouldn't even mind having my group sponsor that. Whatever ends up, going that way versus the landfill is obviously a bonus for us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll just move that to the subcommittee, and then we'll deal with Earth Day and town, and then if people have any suggestions for the calendar moving forward for the rest of the year, if you want to send them to me, then I'll put them together for the next meeting, and I'll make sure that's on there as a content calendar for the Facebook page. Thank you, Susie, for that. All right. Updates. Student members, liaisons, opportunity. Would you like to say anything? Communicate anything? Anything that's going on?
I don't have any updates other than before we decided that most of the Earth Day celebration was going to be held remotely. I got approval from Miss McLeod to hold some sort of like cleanup around the school. So she was completely on board with that, as long as like masks and everything were being worn and everything. But now that our efforts are going to be more remote, maybe that could be more of an activity that's more tied to the school and less to this committee. I don't know about that, but I just wanted to say she gave us the approval for that at some point in the future.
Oh, that's great.
I think it's fine if you do it as the school. I mean,
yeah,
and we'll help you promote it for sure. But we'll leave it to students to do the actual work so that we're not all getting together. That's awesome.
And it's so needed. I spend time doing pickup at the Woodville, and I think I might spend part of my day when it's sunny and 70 cleaning up, because there's a lot of litter in those woods, and I imagine behind the high school is similar.
Is it all right if I add something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry that I missed the Earth Day meeting, but I have a suggestion. Since you guys were talking about like social media, and that was to have like a hashtag for Earth Day, maybe like Earth Day Wakefield or something. where people could like post something that they're doing, like picking up trash, and then they could add that hashtag or something.
I love that. So I've been trying to do ones that are like Wakefield outside. We were thinking about like highlighting spending time outside. I think if you think we should be more tailored than that, I'm totally open to that and sort of switching gears a little bit around action. I think we had been thinking just like,
yeah,
especially as we've been talking a little bit about like protecting our green spaces and really thinking deliberately about our green spaces. But I totally get the action orientedness. So that sounds great to me.
You can do both, really, can't you? I mean, it's Facebook. It's not like we're character limited.
Right.
Yeah, I was just thinking it could maybe help promote like positive actions, but I'm not sure. That was just an idea.
Or plastic reduction. I feel like that's another thing that sort of people have been talking about. It's like small things that you can do. And plastic reduction is a big one. I know Mary does it. It sounded like Daniela introduced herself and said that she does it as well. So that could be great. And the cleanup, I think, is also critical.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, but I have to leave at 8:10 if that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. I just have one question. So with your hashtags, what's the best thing to do then? Just post your suggestions straight on the Facebook page as like a little article?
I'm not too knowledgeable about this, but I think that maybe a post would be made, like we would kick it off sort of, and it'd be like, use this hashtag if you're doing anything for Earth Day or something.
And so we would put that on Facebook on our our brand new Facebook page, and then you would share that out. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, people could share it out, or people could just view it and copy the hashtag on a post that they make.
And then we can go and kind of see everybody who has whatever that hashtag is in place.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to make something up?
One, yeah.
Do you want to make something up and send it to me, and I'll put it on the Facebook until I can get you guys on there?
Well, I would think we would need a bunch of people, or at least everyone in the committee to do one to create some.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not wouldn't be like a what I mean, because then if you click on that hashtag, it's only one post or something like that. So the idea would be it would be something that multiple people could use, which I think would be great. And we could post it onto that website, onto. I know I'm new to hashtags, but
I guess how do you promote everybody to do the hashtag? I guess is the bit I'm missing. I know what hashtags are, but how do you tell people to do it? I guess.
So Rob, we'd make a post, like, so if we say like hashtag Wakefield's cleanup,
right.
all one word, and we would make a post saying, hey, post your pictures of you picking up trash on your walk or way to school or way to work or whatever you do, walking the dogs, with this hashtag. And then as people, post it either on our page or their own page, when they use that hashtag, we can go and call that hashtag and go see what everybody has posted across that. So that hashtag allows that. And it does also go cross-platform. And that's one, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all can you use that hashtag on all of those platforms, and we can go see those postings there.
Okay. So
do
you want to make something up and send it to me, and I'll post it? Is that?
Yeah, sure.
If you have a couple of hashtags, and then Myra, if you have yours, we could put it all together and put them out.
Yeah, I've just been doing it on the Wakefield community group, and on the other one, the Wakefield for residents or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we have our own Facebook page now.
Yeah, it's great.
So we've got to start. Yeah. Okay. Also, yeah, because I think once we put it on ours, we can tag other people as well, right? So. Yeah.
So Rob, one thing just on maybe we should, as Susie pointed out, one of our things to post for this month, along with Earth Day, but maybe a post to introduce our page to the various community pages out there. to kind of start boosting awareness and followership. Is that a word?
And then we all should probably share it too, right? If we get a post
Yep.
together, kind of introducing the page and share it on the community boards, we all can share it with our friends and
Rob,
stuff.
I'll help you come up with kind of an introductory post. Then we can all share to the different places.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Okay, thanks.
I have a question for the students on a different subject. Are you guys familiar with the Youth Can Summit from Boston, Latin? No, so this Saturday Youth Can is their high school club for sustainability, and so they're hosting an 3-hour summit, and it's called a virtual youth climate action event with entertainment, keynote speakers, and workshops. So I imagine if you just search for Boston Youth Can, that's CAN Summit, I just think some of you guys might be interested. It's workshops with Sunrise Boston, Our Climate, School Culture Coalition. Might be something you're interested in checking out. I just learned about it earlier today.
I also just had a quick question, or not question, but comment. Sophie, when you were talking about the cleanup effort, make sure you guys take lots of pictures, because that'll be something that we could put on the Facebook page and kind of highlight the project. So just try to remember to take some pictures.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, Rob, you're muted.
Sorry. Did Nick or Abby or anybody else like to say anything? Any other comments? Updates? I just want to make sure you all have the opportunity to talk. I don't see him. No? Okay. All right. Susie, do you have any updates from schools?
I really don't.
No,
sorry. As I was sitting here, I was thinking to myself, oh, I've got to connect back with Danielle Collins on kind of the write-up that she needs to do around the work that is going on. I believe, Robin, I may have an open question from you. Someone from the committee, I thought it was you, but maybe not, was asking me about more details about the fact that COVID restrictions are causing the schools to have to use more packaging. And I thought it was somebody from this committee that asked me questions, but maybe it was somebody else.
We did talk about it and how we were hoping that they didn't need to continue the plastic wrap everything individually and utensils wrapped in plastic. But
right,
I think you had said previously that it wasn't the school's decision, it's the public health direction at the moment. So they're waiting for the rules to be reverted to
just something that doesn't require that. My understanding is it's coming, and whoever asked me the question, because I don't know if I said it was a state thing or a federal thing, but it's definitely coming from above, saying this is how you need to handle food when you're giving it out in school. But I never did get kind of all of that detail, and I have not had an opportunity to follow back up with Danielle, but I will, I've added that to my list of things that I need to make sure I do next week. But other than that, I really don't have any updates on the school side.
All right, thanks, Susie. Town council?
I don't have any updates. I mean, we've covered it in other places. Just to ask people to vote on April 27th and to come out to town meeting on May 8th.
Thank you. Tom, do you have any updates?
2 updates. I don't know if everyone knows, but our legislation and the governor have passed the climate bill on March 26th. This is a landmark bill it covers multiple facets and quite frankly puts Massachusetts back in the lead for the country. I think other states will be looking at us. Specifically for the municipal light and gas plants, there's 41 of us in the state of Massachusetts, and we represent about 14% of energy consumption across the state. This bill gives us a roadmap to get to net zero by 2050. There's different benchmarks at 2030, 2040, and so on and so forth. So it gives us as a utility kind of the roadmap on how to get there and how to achieve that with our portfolio. So, you know, the next roadmap, or sorry, I should say the next benchmark is 2030 with 50% of our power being not emitting. You know, right now we are at 47%, so we're well on our way. So we've got, you know, another 3% to do. Hopefully we will overachieve that number, but that's just a really good thing from a state level all the way down to the community. And then the second update.
Tom, did you say net zero emission or net zero?
Net zero offset. So, you know,
offsets. Okay.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of stuff in that bill that covers, you know, from energy stretch code to, you know, different industries, transportation. So it's a very, very comprehensive bill. So if you haven't read it, go check it out. Then the second update, just the utility is going to be doing another heat pump information seminar with our new consultant that will be available both for contractors and residential residents for heat pump. The contractor or the consultant firm is called Adobe. That will be held on May 13th at 7 p.m. You know, additional information will be forthcoming. And the utility will also be holding 2 informational seminars for contractors that do heat pump installations, and, you know, advising the contractors on what's available, how to apply, how to advise the residents and businesses that are interested in heat pumps, and our incentives and rebates around those things.
Sorry, Tom, when was that? What day was it?
So the residential one is on May 13th at 7 p.m. I don't have the dates. The contractor ones are actually coming up this month. I think the utility has it published on their webpage. I know that they've reached out directly to contractors that have been working in town.
Okay.
But that information is out there floating in the contract world.
Awesome. Thank you. Who's next on that? Oh, I lost the page. Oh, Joe, DPW. Do you have any updates, Joe?
So I think I covered most of it in the beginning, but I would just say be on the lookout. The grant that we were awarded for some sidewalk opportunities down in Greenwood will be kicking off construction soon. And we'll also be working down at Vets Field in the relatively, short future. Water quality improvement with some drainage work, some rain gardens, new pickleball, and kind of a whole transformation of that area there. Some invasive species removal and whatnot. So we're excited for spring. We think the winter is finally officially behind us, so we can get going and start building stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Joe, are you going to be demonstrating the new pickleball courts? Is that what they're called? Are you going to show us all how it's done?
I may brush up a little bit, but I could do that, I think. I don't know. I've seen the competition at the Civic Center, though. It's pretty tough, so I don't know how long it'll last.
Awesome.
Can I ask a serious question about that? Which it's hard to be serious about pickleball, but I know like what a thing it is. And do we think that having outdoor pickleball courts is going to bring people to Wakefield? Like, was that part of the thinking in that? Or was it really just like, we need to resurface the tennis courts? Why don't we repurpose them for this? Because there's an interest in town.
I can answer that. I think we think that's going to bring people to town. We certainly know it brings people to the AmeriCal when there are regular pickleball events there.
Yeah, because I know I can't imagine that there's many places that have outdoor courts.
There's
that would be
very few
brand
places
new.
that have outdoor places.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. Okay, that's cool. I hadn't thought about that until just now of like, that makes us kind of an unusual community that we would have those. You've got the parking at Vets, so it's a good place as long as they don't come on a Saturday during farmers market day. But I had just thought it was kind of funny that that's what we were doing, but it does seem very smart and very strategic.
Joe, will there be lights there or no?
I know we're moving some of the lights. I don't know if they're going to rehab them or not. Whatever's existing though would stay, but it's basically going to be a facelift for the whole thing, even the floral way. So believe it or not, if you walk around down there now, there's a couple of drainage outfalls that don't really have any cover. We're going to address all that, plumb it all into the rain gardens, regroom everything, make it safer, more walkable, and whatnot. So it's actually going to be a pretty awesome project. And I would say, Susie, I was the same way with the pickleball. When I heard about it, I didn't understand it until I saw it, and I was blown away with the amount.
I don't know what pickleball is, so I'm laughing because
super awesome.
Yeah.
Some game that many on the older side folks play, but I have a good friend who like travels around the United States and competes in pickleball. She's probably 55 years old, and it's serious business for people.
I think we have to get out there once COVID allows us to
have an ESC pickleball tournament.
We might have to challenge another
competitive. But really embarrass myself, I'm sure.
We might have to tell the Boys and Girls Club that's their new thing instead of dodgeball, so that people like you, Julie, don't break your thumb or your finger. All right, thank you for indulging my questions there.
Just a question on the pickleball. Is there any sort of is it just open to the public? It just first come, first serve once the fields are ready?
I think so. I don't know if Recreation has any plans to rent that out for leagues or anything like that. I'm sure that could be that component, but unless somebody has a permitted activity, it's basically open to the public for all to enjoy.
That's cool.
That's great. And that's part of the Clean Lake Committee's plan as well, that they'd laid out of trying to deal with all the inlets around the lake, right? There's 2 or 3 over in that section that are going to be dealt with, is what you're saying with the rain garden.
That will cover everything from the stone church where the floral way kind of breaks off, all the way to Vetsfield just before the parking lot.
Yeah, so there's some pretty big outlets, so that's great.
Yeah, so they'll all be tied in and directed at those rain gardens. It'll get treated through that and then discharged into the lake. There's some knotweed, Rob, you're probably familiar with that, along the shore. That's going to get removed. And then the whole shoreline is going to get buffed up and, kind of given a little bit of a facelift as they're in there.
That sounds great.
That's great. Awesome. Thanks for the update.
You're welcome.
Clean Lake Committee, Joe just gave an update on some of the stuff going around the lake. The committee, I haven't been to a committee meeting for a while, so apart from what Joe just said, I'm not sure what else is going on right now. Item 5 on the agenda. So this is just events and things coming up. Sorry, I'm trying to switch between screens. So on April 22nd, there's a business meeting for the plastic ban and styrofoam ban. That's through Chamber of Commerce, right, Julie? I think, is that what, the 22nd?
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned. That is the webinar with the businesses.
Sorry,
to help prepare them for the bylaw. Yep.
Yep. Hang on, just move my screen. Yep. So that's with the chamber, and then town election is on the 27th, and Safe Streets is also meeting that evening, and then town meeting is May 8th. That's a Saturday, I think, isn't it? Again, it's going to be at the school.
It is
Outdoors.
Saturday. It's at the school. There'll be indoor and outdoor accommodations, and if you need any additional accommodations, just need to let the town hall know. We're gonna try to make them.
So in between that now and then, we need to figure out who's going to present and
Yep.
how we're going to publicise that more. Once the town council has approved it on Monday, the whole warrant. So we could talk about that in the next meeting. Okay, our next meeting is May 13th. And anybody have anything that's not anticipated by the agenda? Anybody
Just have
last?
An announcement, Rob.
Oh yeah.
So Wendy Dennis, who runs the farmer market, as you know, she is looking for a volunteer to take over accounting responsibilities for the farmers market. So if you know anyone, there is a write-up of the job description forthcoming. But if you know anyone that has an accounting acumen and would like to take up that for the farmers market, just share it within your networks.
Yeah, we're actually going to be looking for a couple of positions as well. We're looking for some social media and some other stuff as well. And we have one new lady who's joined the committee, so we're looking for some more help to try and spread it out a little bit for this year. So thanks for that, Tom. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about it. Motion to adjourn. Unless anybody else has anything else to say, would like to. I've lost everybody but Tom.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I can only see one at a time now. I don't know what I just did. Sorry.
I'll second it. Julie seconding.
Thank you. All in favour? I can't see everybody's faces. Julie?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Myra?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Susie?
Yes.
Me? I?
Mary.
Mary? Thank you. Mary?
Yes.
And Robin?
And Robin? Thank you. I normally I've suddenly lost you all. Thank you, guys.